There's no redemption arc for Hollywood. The LA fires may have missed Tinseltown by a whisker, but Hollywood have burnt down their own industry a long time ago. There's only one way for entertainment, for film, for television to continue, and that's away from LA, away from Hollywood. It cannot continue. Hollywood and its industry isn't dying, it's dead. Look at the Blake Lively and the Justin situation. It's madness. A couple of kids going like that using their lawyers. And I mean, there's clearly something deep going on there, because let's be clear about this. Justin Baldoni is a nobody. He has no power. He wasn't that famous. If he was really causing some misconduct, if he was harassing Blake Lively, they would have got him out on his toes immediately. I mean, Johnny Depp lost his role on Fantastic Beasts. So it doesn't make any sense. So clearly something deeper had happened, right? We've seen pictures of Justin holding Blake's baby. She claims when she was smiling with him in photos, well, you know, many women who are harassed nervously smile. Really? Well, you must have been harassed by Justin, sweetheart, hun, because you were smiling and laughing. It's obvious. Nah, I don't think so. So clearly something happening. Now, I'm alleging that they got it on, you know, or something else happened, or she wanted it to happen and he said, no, I don't know, but it's not looking good for her. I don't know if he's guilty or innocent, but I tell you what, he has got the most ruthless lawyer in town. But if you want to imagine what Hollywood is like, do you want to know what Hollywood is like? I know, you don't. Have you ever seen Game of Thrones? I'm on a bit of a Game of Thrones rewatch kick right now. Last night I watched the episode when Joffrey dies. A shout out to that young actor whose name I'm ashamed to say I don't even know. I mean, that kid made us hate him. He was amazing. But his death is probably the most satisfying thing in television history. How dare you treat my friend Tyrion like that? Anyway, if you want to imagine what Hollywood is Westeros. Hollywood is King's Landing. If you've seen Game of Thrones, you know what I'm talking about. You know how they go into Littlefinger's brothel? You know how, remember that episode when Joffrey's shooting arrows at the hooker? Do you remember that? He kills the hooker. He just uses her for target practice. That is Hollywood, my friends. They have got now intimacy coordinators. Why? Because the directors can't be trusted to shoot a sex scene. Imagine that! And the intimacy coordinators, let's talk about that. Who actually is qualified on intimacy? Nobody. Nobody's qualified on intimacy. What makes an intimacy coordinator qualified to, you know, make sure that the actors are comfortable and things like that? It's ridiculous, right? If I as a director, and let's not get it twisted, I ain't directed any movies. I'm an amateur dramatics writer, director, and actor. People say, well, mate, you're obviously a crap director, writer, and actor because you've never made it. Yeah, that's why I do it on an amateur level. I do it because I enjoy the art form. Thank you very much. So you're spot on there, haters, by the way. But anyway, as a director, if I can't be trusted to shoot a sex scene, then I won't shoot any sex scenes. Intimacy coordinators cause a problem for something that's difficult enough to do. You know, in a lot of ways, you don't really, unless you're making a sex thriller, you don't really need those kind of scenes anyway. It's something Hollywood's always done to get people to watch movies, to get men to watch movies, right? But if you can't be trusted as a director to shoot a sex scene, what does that say about you? Is there a problem with you? Haven't you got the capability to shoot a sex scene, to make your talent feel comfortable? Because it isn't as sexy as it looks in the TV or films, right? You know, there's a dozen people round them. It ain't that hot at all. But they have to make it look that way. Clearly, as a director, I can stand there and make them feel comfortable as a decent human being. But there's very few decent human beings making entertainment. Entertainment has always been problematic, full of kind of people, Game of Thrones, evil people. On that level, I swear to you, when George R.R. Martin wrote his story, A Song of Ice and Fire, he based it on Hollywood. And if he didn't, I tell you what, it was done accidentally on purposely, because it's exactly how they're run for years now. I want you to imagine it. Look at what they did to Rob Stark and his mum, right, Caitlin? That's the kind of behaviour that happens in Hollywood all the time, behind closed doors. But we tolerated them years ago. 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, we tolerated their cruelty because they were making great entertainment. And we were wrong to tolerate their behaviour. Let's not get it twisted. But Hollywood is finished. There is no redemption arc. Their behaviour over the years, and still to this day, is disgusting. Let's talk about Me Too and Time's Up. This was supposed to stop the harassment, the bullying, the criminal behaviour in Hollywood. And it's just become worse. Because what Me Too and Time's Up has done, it has punished some very bad people, but it's also brought a culture of false accusations. Women falsely accusing men, and some men falsely accusing women. It happens the other way round as well. Let's not get it twisted. That's the culture we now live in. So I have the passion. I want to create an entertainment company called Movies TV Mad, by the way. An entertainment company that makes television and makes film. As you know, I'm writing a film called Saving Judy Garland. That would be my first movie released through my Movies TV Mad banner. I have the passion, but I need pure-hearted backers to start this entertainment company. People who believe, like I do, that a cast and crew, the first thing, the bare minimum they should expect is a safe environment. But not just a safe environment, because when they're away from the artistic family, they need to be protected as well. But we can't just create a structure in protecting people from abuse. No abuse should ever happen at the workplace. That's the bare minimum. But no one should be able to falsely accuse another person. It's going to happen, but we need structures in place to reduce the percentages of this. We need to leave Hollywood. Hollywood is over. You know, entertainment needs to be rebuilt. Like entertainment companies like I want to build. Movies TV Mad. That may sound self-serving. But first of all, before we shoot a reel, before we write a script, we have to create, on a piece of paper, on a computer, 100 rules to create safety in our environment. Because I was talking many moons ago to a child actress, and I was saying to her, honey, you ain't safe. You know, I know what goes on there. And she goes, no, it's fine. My parents watched me on a video intercom. I said, what? You know the kid who plays the little black girl from Shazam? She's a brilliant young actress. I was speaking to her on Twitter. It was on the public forum, so it's there to be seen. But yeah, she was saying it's fine. And I'm thinking, it's not fine. Your parents have to watch you while you're working because these people can't be trusted. But I didn't want to blow up her illusion. She's a sweet kid, right? But it's disgusting. And what's the most disgusting thing is, there's no structures in place to protect children, women, men, or anyone. Because these people are serial abusers. They abuse each other. There is a big problem in our industry. Actors, directors, creative people have an ego already. And it's very difficult to manage that on a sound stage. But you've got to be able to do it. As a director, I believe the qualities that you need are great communication skills. You know, there's many problems with directors who can't communicate. If you can't communicate, you shouldn't be a director. You know, you're the referee, you're the coach, you're the father, you're the mother. You need to be there for your cast. You need to have the energy. You need to be the person that they can approach. And you must be beyond a reasonable doubt, the person that they can approach with their problems. Because we are human beings first and foremost. This is not the thing in Hollywood. Don't fall for the crap you see on the Blu-ray, DVD, 4K, features. Oh yeah, we're like a family. No, you're not. Well, I know families are dysfunctional, but you guys are the most dysfunctional families in the world. They're not good people. Their behavior is beyond criminal. And as I say, if you want to compare them to the horrible people in Game of Thrones. That is the level of their behavior. And they've just got to be left behind. It's dead. It's finished. Now, if we even if we don't want to talk about the abuse, the harassment, the way these people treat each other, the way the CEOs treat the smaller people, it's just horrible. They're horrible people. And it cannot work anymore. But not even worse, but look, we now are in an environment of sequels, reboots, and adaptions. That's mainly what they're all doing. And because they've drip-fed this current generation on fast-paced, explosive CGI, extravaganzas, nobody wants to watch a slow movie anymore. No one wants to watch Born on the 4th of July, Casualties of War, Dead Ringers. They'd be streaming movies today. And streaming is another thing. It's the poison that's killing entertainment. This whole thing about this film at the Oscars, I forgot, they just nominated all the movies, right? And there's this, I forgot what it's called, right? But basically, it's got a record-breaking amount of noms, and it's like the most terrible thing, apparently, ever. I don't think streaming movies should even be allowed to be nominated at the Oscars unless it's their own segment. They're not promoting cinema. You're allowing a streaming movie to get all the nominations. And I know that people on those movies work just as hard, but it's not right. So Hollywood doesn't get it. And you would think an industry on the verge of bankruptcy would change their creative directions. Are you a fan of Disney Doctor Who? Are you a fan of current Kurtzman Trek? Oh my God, have you just seen the latest one? Terrible. Are you a fan of Disney Star Wars? No? Well, get ready for Disney X-Files. They're rebooting the X-Files. No, thank you very much. I'm a big X-Files fan. Do you remember that whole Quantum Leap reboot? 2 seasons and it was dead, and they only renewed it for a 2nd season to be nasty. Do you remember original star Scott Bakula and his op-ed piece? He did a whole monologue on Twitter saying why he wouldn't come back. I think we all know why he wouldn't come back. Good man for protecting the legacy that you and Donald P. Belisario and Dean Stockwell created. Very, very important. At the very least, old school entertainment tried to move you, tried to do things, and we need to get back to this. But we can't do it within the parameters of Hollywood. They're now kissing Trump's butt because they want bailout money. That's why all of a sudden they're not being as scathing to Donald Trump. It's in trouble. And all you get is them doing what they're doing. Then you've got the Variety and Hollywood Reporter trying to salvage their reputations. And it's just so funny now. It is funny to see them crumble. And as a kid, I looked up to Hollywood. I looked up to the directors. They were great. Those directors were great. Probably horrible people, but artistically, I looked up to them. There's nothing to look up to anymore. You can't look up to these actors. I won't go and see a movie because of current actors in it. There's no film stars anymore. There's more like superstar directors than there is film stars. It's all gone. And there's only one way. There's no saving Hollywood. Hollywood is dead. Hollywood is finished. You can see they're not learning their lessons. They've just got to be allowed to stew in their own juice, to rot in their own acid. It's over. If we love our industry, and I do love our industry, we need to rebuild it. Away from LA, away from California, away from Hollywood, and it doesn't have to be all done in one place. There just needs to be people to create a safe structure for people to create beautiful, wonderful, compelling art in. If we can do that, that we salvaged this beautiful art form.